Hello, does it work now?
Yes, perfect. Now it works.
Yeah. Okay. So, a very warm welcome from the University of Graz. Um, Welcome to our lecture series, Ukrainian Voices. Ukrainian Voices is an activity that we are actually organizing within the framework of our Erasmus Plus project, promoting academic freedom in Ukraine. It is a project which is implemented by several European partners, including the University of Poznan and World University Service Austria and the University of Graz, among others. And the project aims specifically to support three Ukrainian universities, namely the International Humanitarian University Odessa, the Taras Shevchenko University Kiev, and the Sumy State University to uphold academic freedom or to support them in upholding academic freedom despite the war and despite the incredible circumstances these universities are currently facing. What we are doing, we are organizing a series of activities. So in summer, we had a summer school bringing together students from Graz, Poznan, Poland, and Ukraine to discuss important issues about academic freedom. We organize a workshop series for students and academics in the participating universities, including workshop on the reintegration of veterans into universities, workshops on how to use artificial intelligence in higher education teaching, but also in academic writing. We try to give them psychological support by organizing workshops on psychological support for academics, but also students. And as it is this activity today, we try to provide Ukrainian scholars and experts with a voice. We try to provide them with a platform where they actually can share their research, their projects, what they are doing, with the greater objective to keep them within the European academic landscape. You know, if there is war, one of the things that can happen is that you lose your voice, that you just do not have the possibility anymore to present your research to an international forum. And this is what we want to mitigate. So we thought about organizing this lecture. In total, we are organizing 12 lectures. So we issued a call for paper and invited scholars, Ukrainian scholars and experts to present either here at the University of Graz and also at the University of Poznan. We are also streaming those lectures. They will also be recorded and they will also be made available to a greater public online on our free AC. That's the acronym of our project. There you will also have the chance to see this lecture, which is recorded, but you can also have a look at the other lectures that we have already had so far. And today it is my very pleasure to welcome Olha Volynska here at the University of Graz. There will be in a few seconds a short introduction by my colleague Svetlana Andreshenko, who is also a project member of the FreeAC project. Olga will actually present us her findings and the things that she was engaged with in the last year. So I don't want to spoil too much now. And Olga, she's also in Graz. She's now based in Graz because she had to leave Ukraine. And it's actually really a pleasure to welcome you back because you have already been here. And the first time you have presented your work here, it was still ongoing. So it was and now you can also present some preliminary results already. So thank you very much for joining here in Graz, and thank you very much for joining online. Just a quick note for the kind of logistics. As I said, this lecture will be recorded. However, the discussion afterwards, so we will have the lecture recorded, but the discussion in the end will not be recorded. So, so that there are no privacy issues, and you can really feel free to speak and to discuss. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Svetlana for a presentation of Olga.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Dear colleagues, very welcome to our event. And it's my great pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Olga Volynska. And Olga Volynska is a Ukrainian journalist, author of 5 books, a documentary filmmaker and human rights defender. She has received numerous journalism awards and is the founder of Human Rights Video Production, a platform that produces documentaries to promote human rights and raise awareness of Russia's war crimes. Today's lecture focuses on the topic Art Against Artillery, Cultural Resilience in Times of Crisis. Recently, Olga published her book, Art Against Artillery, Voices of Resilience. And this lecture continues the ideas explored in her book. It shows how Ukrainian artists deal with pain and different experience through creativity, how they use art as a way to stay strong and to keep their stories alive. So let me give the floor, Olga, please.
So hello to everyone. For me, it's also a very big pleasure to be here again. 2 years ago, I already was here, and as Lisa said, it was also a lecture, and we showed a screen the documentary. Today, I will talk about a very, very interesting topic, kind of phenomenon, I think, about cultural renaissance, cultural resilience in times of crisis. Shortly, I want to say also that this is the second book that was published in Austria for the last 3 years. First one was Wie der Krieg uns verändert, about how war changes based on testimonies of Ukrainian civilians. And the second one is dedicated to artists and to art in times of war. And what I also would like to add that for the last 3 years, my focus is to give voice. What Lisa also mentioned, that it's a big problem. That's a big hole when people lose their voice or these voices are unheard or underrepresented. So I focus on presenting Ukrainian voices on international level, on European platforms. For example, European Conference for Human Rights in Norway, Arendal Suka, a big democracy forum, and other platforms, which is very important for me to make even a small contribution as a journalist, what I already know, what I already recorded, to share these knowledges with Europeans. And today we will talk about a cultural resistance in times of war. Exactly, I offer to start from the very beginning. What is it exactly cultural resistance in times of war in our context? This is the response to Russia's deliberate policy of destroying Ukrainian identity. This process already lasted for the centuries. And yes, and what does Russia do in Ukraine during the war? Of course, beyond occupying territory and killing people, Russia destroys what makes us human. it demolished monuments, loots museums, and erases historical archives. And this is not accidental. This is a part of a deliberate strategy of cultural genocide. And exactly what I discovered in this book, I was speaking to different artists, painters, musicians, composers, photographers, cultural experts, and also they were from different cities, from different directions, different forms of art, but they said very, very similar things. And what persuaded me is that it's true that colonial and imperial nature of this war is revealed through the destruction of culture and its representatives. And artists today are killed not only on the battlefield, but also in occupied territories, of course, where simply remaining Ukrainian and showing this loyalty to the Russian regime becomes a very big and deadly crime. The first thing that aggressor do on occupied territory, it's like everyone, doesn't matter which region of Ukraine it is, started from changing names of streets, of theaters, closing Ukrainian libraries, bookstores, burning Ukrainian books, also European books, and overnight Russian literature appeared, and children are indoctrinated with Russian identity. So it's how to stay a Ukrainian that is very, very dangerous. And I'm telling this so detailed because later I will tell how this research, because it was research, I was not making interview with artists. I also was doing research on this topic. What inspired me and just make the final decision to do this work was the death of Ukrainian writer Volodymyr Vakulenko. Maybe you know this, somebody hear this name, maybe. It's Ukrainian children writer Volodymyr Vakulenko, who was killed in the occupied territory of Kharkiv region, Izum. And his only crime, I see, like not crime, of course, was that he refused to accept a Russian identity, said that, okay, come into my house, to my land. And for the very last moment, he did nothing. So he was tortured and killed and found in the mass grave. So it reminded me that we already had something similar in Ukrainian history. Not the same, but very similar. 100 years ago, it was the period of executed Renaissance, when the whole generation of very talented avant-garde Ukrainian artists, intellectuals, and artistic elite was destroyed, was executed, killed, deported by totalitarian regime. And now, just on the occupied territories, we can see that methods are very similar. And to demonstrate your position, to show that you're Ukrainian, to speak Ukrainian language is forbidden. And to create, to be artist in this time means exactly not to let Russia to erase us, because these attempts are already for, as I said, for centuries. And Ukrainian museums, for example, on the occupied territories are looted hugely. And it's only official data that more than 33,000 museum artifacts have been stolen and transferred to occupied Crimea and Russian collections. It's the scale of such crimes that world didn't see since Second World War. And what it's about. It's about that, again, it's about the war and desire to destroy Ukrainian identity. And what I want to start is to give voice to artists and what they already said in book. I also can, the book is in open access in internet in English. And also very soon, just in a couple of weeks, it will be printed in German. So it will be possible to buy, to read it in German too. What I want to show you now is this picture in Ukrainian, in English, edition. It's a cover. What it is? It's the artist of opera aperta. It's a musical theater of Ukraine, in Ukraine, and they did a performance in which they used the real part of real Russian missile. So you can see it. It's not a fake. And they nobody knows exactly where this part was found by military volunteers and how many lives it's already have taken. But what the composer Roman Grigoriev wanted to show that it's how Ukrainian artists live and work now, that they really have to use a real missile just to show in which conditions we live and what's going on in real. And this is his words. Since the start of the full-scale war, we have been reborn as a society. Our culture is being revived, and Ukrainian culture is undergoing decolonization in the context of war. But on the other hand, what kind of renaissance can be played on a missile? Our birth emerges from death. Yes, it's a very powerful quote, and it's true, because creating under such conditions, that's very, very difficult. And I would love to read us short quotes from the book. Can I? And to go a bit deeper in the topic. Yeah. So I asked Roman, because Roman did this performance with his colleagues, musicians and actors in this opera operta team band. It's musical theater, sorry. And they show it at the international level in a big stage before presidents, ministers, top politicians. And he told me that he was really surprised when very top diplomats were making pictures near this missile, smiling, and just it was like something, some entertainment. And he understood why it was doing like this, because they were thinking that it's a moulage, that it's a fake. And he took this, just grabbed this missile and went to them, put on the table and said, look, if you don't believe me, it's not fake, it's a real missile with real Russian numbers on it. And that really impressed many people, because you can't even imagine the sound that it's made from missile. It's really horrible. And this video is also open in YouTube. It's possible to, can we go to the next picture? It's exactly how Roman is playing on it. Yes, and this is the Kiev Camerata assembly. They are playing this together in Kiev Andreevska Church. So the Songs of Unborn, it's the name of this performance, which also has very deep meaning, I think. So I asked Roman, could you tell us, please, more about the Ukrainian cultural renaissance today? And Roman said, I see what everyone sees. Theaters are packed and tickets are sold out months in advance. every theater and every concert venue is experiencing sold-out performances. We are not talking about quality just yet. Ukrainian theater is only